All right, welcome back to the Homestand Show. Let's continue our conversation about the Toronto Blue Jays. Game 2 of a 4-game series against the Yankees in the books. They lose again, but there's tons going on between these two teams. Somewhat of a rivalry starting up. Let's bring in one of our favorite guests, Andrew Zuber. It's the Zoobs. How you doing, Zoobs?
I feel good. I feel, AL East baseball. It's exciting stuff. So,
Yes.
still under construction as I come to you from a different room every time I do this show lately. But no, feeling good in general about that.
Okay, Zoobs. I don't know where to start here. There's so much that needs to be talked about. You got the Domingo Germán stuff. You got Boone and Schneider going at it. You got third base coaches getting out of their box and being told to stay in their box. And then you got Gausman, who throws 10 Ks. 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. But once again, the Jays failed to get him some run support. Makes sense of this for Kevin Gausman.
Yeah, listen, the lineup, they've sacrificed a little bit of your everyday in and out offense for some of the other things, base running, defense. We talked about this before, some speed. It's a very top heavy lineup right now. Bo is playing very well. Chapman has cooled off, but has been very good. Vlad has played very well, hitting the ball very well. And Springer's coming around, and that's about it. I mean, there's the back half of this lineup, the bottom half of this lineup, and the bench has just not been that good. They have struggled to score runs in general. They haven't won a weekday game in May yet. All their wins are on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. It's a challenging go-around for me and for this team right now. Kevin Gausman is just sort of cursed with bad luck. Last year, he was much better than it should have been. He got some bad defense. This year, he's not getting any of the hitting. It's been challenging because he has pitched very, very well to the point you made there. He just sort of has the lack of good luck right now, which is such a huge part of baseball. So it's got to be frustrating for him. That's for sure.
Zoobs, we're seeing a bit of a budding rivalry between the Jays and the Yankees. I'm not saying it's on me versus you type level or me versus Kevin Kiermaier type level, but when you look at this as a baseball fan, how important is it to have these strong rivalries throughout the season and as we go forward to the playoffs?
Aaron Boone and the New York Yankees sort of remind me of, like, in the UFC, when you have a really strong wrestler, you sort of go into it and you're like, you fight that guy's fight. When you play the Yankees, your manager ends up yelling at guys. Your pitching coach ends up yelling at guys. You end up arguing with, they draw you into this. It's just sort of the power of the pinstripe, maybe, or just the way that team carries themselves. You see it over and over again. The Yankees bring this out of other teams. They're really, really effective at that. They're really good at making you think about things other than maybe don't throw Aaron Judge a slider down the middle of the plate if you're a fastball splitter guy. They're really good at this kind of stuff. And maybe it's the microscope they play under. Maybe it's just sort of the nature of the franchise that you're the number one bad guy, you're the number one heel probably in all of sports. It's just the nature of the beast. And I think if you're the Blue Jays, you have to try to stay out of this. You can't have the, like, Aaron Judge was looking to the side. That can't be a 26-hour news cycle. It just doesn't work. And I think it gets them off their game. I think we talk about a team that is trying to do things right this year, is trying to be disciplined, is trying to do all the small things. It goes against what they've been trying to do and is, quite frankly speaking, really annoying to watch them go through. It's annoying to watch Pete Walker yelling at the third base coach. It's annoying to watch these bench players talking like starters to grab a thing. It just sort of adds to this stuff that isn't about how the team is playing. And it's just sort of, you get sucked into this when you play the Yankees. It's very annoying. And it is, as you say, it is sort of good for baseball in general. I think if you were to ask the Yankees, they have this relationship with 29 other teams in the league. It's just sort of, this is what it's like to be the Yankees. Everybody has their eye on you at all times.
But listen, the fans want a response, ideally
Sure.
a violent response. But you plunk a batter, you might lose that pitcher, right? It doesn't make
Sure.
much sense to me. Give me some other options for some retribution here, can you?
You could hit some home runs at home. That would be a good start for this team to do. Holy, I mean, I know they traded Teoscar and they lost some power. They have not hit for power at all. You have to go back to my UFC analogy, keep this fight on its feet. Keep it at what you do well. Play those your strengths. Play that good baseball. Play what we saw them play against other teams. But yeah, you have to get this back on the field. I don't know that there's going to be retribution. It doesn't seem to be the style of this team. They might do it the coward's way. It might be his last at-bat in Game 4 of this series might be where we see it because, as you say, it's just too valuable. You know, a lot has been made about how good the American League East is this year and how all these teams are playing above 500. All of them are playing so well. What comes with that is you're going to have to win the division games. They got swept by Boston. They lost 2 straight to New York. You can't do the, oh my God, this division is crazy, and then lose all the division games. They're going to have to play good baseball against these teams because they don't see the Yankees again until the end of the year. They don't see the Yankees again. They don't see the Rays again. Those 2 of their last series of the very end of the year. So you have to make these games count. It's going to count for tiebreakers. It's going to count in a very log jam standings. The only retribution they can take playing this team as few as they are playing them now is to win these games and to pitch well. And that starts tonight with Bassett against Cole.
Yeah, and Bassett coming off that masterclass complete game last time out. If you were redoing the rotation right now and the season began tomorrow, knowing what you know now, what would the rotation be?
I think you could literally just bump everyone up to 1 and then move Manoah down. He's been the least reliable guy. I think Gausman, the luck being what it is, he's a reliable, generally, you know what you're getting. You're getting strong outings. You're getting lots of strikeouts. I think you would go Gausman, Bassett, Barrios, Kikuchi, Manoah. I think that's probably what you would do. You would keep the order they have them in and just push Manoah down to the bottom. It has been a capital C concern. It's officially, we talked about this a couple times ago, a couple experiences ago, is like, when do you start to get concerned? June is when I start to get concerned, and that's 2 starts from now for him. It is not trending in the right direction. Yeah, Bassett's been very good. Gausman's been very good. Barrios has got his head above water. We'll see about how much the Kikuchi resurgence sticks. I think they have them in the right order. I don't know that Manoah is the one I'd have at the top, though.
All right, Azuz, we've reached the quarter mark, or at least past the quarter mark of the season. The Jays have a pretty good winning percentage, 571, which is good enough for top 2 in every other division. At this point in this season, how would you rate the Blue Jays season?
It's interesting because, you can look at all those numbers. To your exact point, is like they're playing pretty well, but it also doesn't feel like they're playing well. They're not getting anything from their ace. They're not getting anything from the bench. They're not getting anything really from the catcher slot. Jansen has struggled. I think Kirk has 4 extra base hits the whole year. He has not hit for power basically since August of last year. The bench is just not good enough to be flat about it. They have 3 different guys who all do the same thing, which is like some decent positional flexibility that cannot hit at all. They have no pinch hitting options. Belt has been really slow to start. Springer has been really, really bad. There's a lot of holes, and yet you're looking at a team that has mid-90s win pace. It's been a very interesting sort of thing because, to your point about the division, they're going to have to play really well. They're not going to be able to do like we've seen in years past where they slump for a whole month and they fall around 500 and they sort of kick it around, and then in September they go really hot. That's not an option this year. The division is too good. These teams are too good. There's not enough interdivision games for those teams to beat up on each other and to drag those records down. They're going to have to pick it up. And my big concern right now is the depth. It's not a 5-alarm fire, but they cannot. The idea that Vlad Guerrero Jr. could miss any time at all, you're immediately like, oh no, Belt Biggio is your first baseman platoon. That is not good. You have no bench. You have any pitcher. You talk about Manoah. If Manoah goes down, who the heck is the 5th starter? There's nobody. It's a good team, but the footing is a little bit rocky. And the part we're about to go in here, the middle of the year is where flaws get exposed, weaknesses get exposed. They're about to be tested, I think, with the depth and the team that they have put together. So they're going to have to find some consistency. They're going to have to find the bottom half of the lineup really starting to dig in. The catchers are going to have to improve, and we'll see what they do about the bench because the AAA guys have certainly not been knocking the door down either. Not a lot of options to promote from within right now. So they're in a bit of a pickle. They're playing well, but they're going to have to sustain a very, very high level of baseball to stick around.
Yeah, and they're going to have to figure it out against the AL East as well. 4-8, and their next 9 is against teams in the division. Zoobs, we're out of time, unfortunately, but thanks for coming on. Let's do it again soon, please.
My pleasure. Anytime, fellas.